Hi everyone, I'm Dr.Animaction, and welcome to another Top 10-ish list. This week I was trying to think about what topic to cover, but I just couldn't get any peace and quiet. Dogs kept running around the house barking, cats were knocking stuff off every shelf in the building. It was just plain chaos. It was almost enough to make me wonder why I even have pets. After all, they just kind of eat, sleep, and hang out. Well, mine at least. But then I realized not all of them do. Some of them carry weapons, or operate complicated machinery, like the following. These are the top 10 pets in 80s action cartoons. Number 14. See? Top 10-ish. Anyway, number 14. One Rover 1 from Battle of the Planets. I had some doubts about including One Rover 1, but I love Battle of the Planets too much to leave him off the list. He's a robot dog that hangs out with an annoying robot. He's a companion to a character created only to provide exposition in situations where the scenes from the original Gatchaman anime were cut. But he was usually the best part of them. Number 13. Starflyer from Ring Raiders. So these first few entries make the list because they're interesting designs, but there isn't much to say about him beyond that. Starflyer here, for example, is an alien space parrot from the future, and he doesn't really do much other than sit on Yakamura's shoulder. But being a space parrot in itself is cool, so he makes the list. Number 12. Brock from Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. So Brock is a giant flying space fish that a little girl rides around on. Nothing else to the character. It does about as much in the show as a real fish does in your home aquarium, but this one's from space. And it flies. Pretty much the same as Starflyer, but Brock can give rides, and that puts him higher on the list. Number 11. Uni from Dungeons & Dragons. Uni was a baby unicorn that hung out with a preteen barbarian. She could cast some spells, poke people with her horn, and occasionally teleport. Nothing really noteworthy to put her higher on the list. However, if we look beyond the cartoon, Uni actually became a part of the wider Forgotten Realms lore. She even received a mention in Baldur's Gate 2, and that's pretty impressive. Number 10. Gupp from Tiger Sharks. Gupp was the Tiger Shark's pet basset hound, and just like the human characters in the show, could turn into a fish. Assumedly some kind of guppy to align with the punny nature of his name, like all the characters from the show, who were all coincidentally named after their eventual fish forms. Anyway, he didn't do much in the show, but he did save the entire team in one episode, so he gets recognition for that here. Number 9. Junkyard from G.I. Joe. Oh man, is this entry going to cause some hate? Listen, I get it. Junkyard's great. He was the first pet figure most of us had in the toy line, so there's definitely a nostalgia factor. He just wasn't as widely used in the cartoon as the other pets. Plus, whenever he was threatened, Mutt jumped in to save him, so he never got a chance to shine. Seems like the only time the cartoon gave him any attention, it was to serve as a plot device, like in the Synthoid Conspiracy or Cobra's Creatures. I love him as much as the next Joe fan, but the animated series just didn't seem to. Number 8. Polly from G.I. Joe. Hey look, 2 argument-causing entries in a row. Okay, so normally I want to try and stick to 1 entry per show for these lists, and in the future that shouldn't be a problem. For this list though, the G.I. Joe pets were all too deserving of spots to leave any off. So here's Polly. He's at number 8 because he gets more airtime than Junkyard, but he's not as cool as the higher entries. And honestly, as endearing as his mistreatment of Shipwreck was, the voice and whistling and constant stream of nautical terms got old fast. Number 7. Shadow from the Centurions. Shadow is the epitome of a good boy. He's really well trained, loyal, and combat capable. Plus he's got his own assault weapon system. Kind of. He wears a vest equipped with missile launchers, which is almost the same. Plus he saved the Centurions on several occasions. The only problem is that Jake so willingly keeps putting him in danger. He's been knocked unconscious more than is probably good for any animal. Trapped, shot at. I'm surprised the SPCA hasn't had a chat with Mr. Rockwell. Number 6. Tallyhawk from Silverhawks. You know what's cooler than a hawk? One that can shoot lasers and slice through metal with its wings. Tallyhawk is part spy satellite, part weapon system, and part regular hawk. We don't ever learn much about him, as he just kind of joins the Silverhawks when they arrive at Hawk Haven, but then again, we don't really need to. Sometimes just being a showcase for cool abilities and a complimentary addition to a team of cool characters is enough. Enough to get the number 6 spot on this list at least. Number 5. Freedom from G.I. Joe. Hey, speaking of cool birds, here's Freedom. No, he can't shoot a laser or cut metal like Tallyhawk, but he can catch arrows shot by ninjas and fight Primords, even after getting knocked out of the sky. Plus, he's pretty capable of helping out the Joes by leading them where they need to go, or scouting, or even unmasking Zartan. He may not have the full range of abilities that a cyborg Hawk does, but he's got the nostalgia edge in my book. And don't worry, we're almost out of Joe pets, I promise. Number 4. Timber from G.I. Joe. So here's my choice for the best of the G.I. Joe pets. Timber is the animal that can do it all. Operate a minecart? Check. Jump out of a helicopter? Yep. Wear a disguise and dance like a human? Just as well as Scooby-Doo. Granted, he doesn't have the most appearances among the Joe pets, but the appearances he does make demonstrate how dedicated to Snake Eyes he is and how much more capable he is than most normal animals. Not bad for being a wild wolf who just decided he'd become a pet after being saved from a trap. And now, as promised, we are out of G.I. Joe pets. Number 3. Blitz from Cops. So here's the point on the list where we leave regular or slightly augmented animals behind. Blitz used to be a regular police dog, but now he's so much more. He has near-human intelligence, he's robotically strong and fast, and he can dig and jump way better than normal dogs. In all the episodes that he's in, it's obvious that he's just as capable as any of the human members of Cops, and they all seem to treat him like an equal. He kind of blurs the line between pet and partner, which gets him this high on the list. Number 2. Mama from Thundercats. Our only villain on the list, and another character that blurs the line between pet and partner, or I guess maybe henchman, Mama is in a different class of pet altogether. Where Blitz has the abilities of a robot dog, Mama has the abilities of a demon dog. Not only is he supernaturally smart, strong, and fast for a dog, but he can fly and change his size too. Oh, and he can also shapeshift into a giant bat monster, which is kind of awesome. But even beyond all that, he was in more episodes than almost any other pet on this list, making him far more prolific in his series than any of his contemporaries. And number 1, Cringer from He-Man. Okay, so this entry's kind of misleading because Cringer shouldn't even break the top 10. Battlecat, though, deserves this number 1 spot. Where Cringer's a lazy coward, Battlecat's a ferociously brave warrior. Most of Battlecat's best qualities are pretty obvious. He's a massive alien tiger that's super strong and fast and capable of carrying He-Man across any terrain or environment. Plus he can talk and has a pretty much human level of intelligence. He's as good as any non-anthropomorphic animals you're going to find in 80's animated action. So that's my list. Before I close out, I do want to give some honorable mentions to both Bulldozer from Mr. T and Dash's cat from Starcom. Mr. T was a fun show, but it doesn't exactly fit with the rest of what I cover here. However, how could I not mention a bulldog with a mohawk? As for Dash's cat, well, any cat that's excited to ride along during space combat at least deserves a nod on a best pets list. Anyway, let me know what you think of my choices and the reasons below. Do you agree? Disagree? Think pets shouldn't be in these shows at all? Tell me why in the comments, because I'd be interested to hear other opinions. And on that note, as the big YouTube kids say, like, comment, subscribe, bell. Thanks again for watching, and if you like these kinds of lists, then stay tuned. And stay tuned, because of animation. Later.